Hey everybody, this is T-Jaw and
AAA, how's it going?
we are back again to show you guys the new wave of Marvel Legends.
I don't even know what wave number we're in.
Probably 1,000. We haven't done any Marvel Legends in a while. I don't even think we have done any.
I don't think we've ever done a Marvel
So
Legends.
we decided, AAA got the new wave in, so we decided we would show it. The Build-A-Figure in the wave is the Saber-Tooth Tiger Zabu from Savage Land. But we can go down the line. There's the Red Widow, which I do not know this character. Obviously something newer in the comic books. Also, I do not know this character, Black Winter. I do know Icarus, Cable, Wolfsbane, and Khazar. And or however you want to say it, I always say Khazar.
Yeah.
So, but this is the second time they've made a Khazar figure, because there was a San Diego Comic-Con with Zabu.
Yep.
Yeah, that came out, and I'm kind of thinking that one was a better figure than this one.
I think so too.
This one looks cool, but the one that came with San Diego has a 10 times better body and looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And I even noticed, at least on mine, a little bit of consistency issue with the paint and the coloration on some of the different parts.
Yeah, that is true. And then the Zabu seems really small. Zabu should have been a lot bigger, like the San Diego Comic-Con one.
Well, yeah, I think was the more proportionate size to what I envision it from the comics. I know like this would probably be how it'd be proportionate in real life, but I like the very augmented Savage Land.
Yeah, I like the bigger, version of him. And then the Icarus is a really good version of Jack Kirby looking colors and stuff like that and patterns. And this is probably the best Cable they have made. Face sculpt, everything on him, he's amazing. And Wolfsbane, they only did the head for that.
So it was a quote unquote 2-pack, because you could do either. It was either Danny Moonstone or Wolfsbane. So now I can have both on my X-Men shelf, which we will showcase at some juncture.
That's pretty cool.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's a good wave. I don't know how dark or Black Winter and Red Widow matches into, and Icarus matches into this wave.
I miss the days of the themed wave.
Yeah, me too.
Because I would have wanted all Savage Land characters. I wanted Shanna. I wanted Savage Land Magneto, Savage Land Rogue.
A new Sauron.
Yeah, and it just like, that would have made sense to me as a producer, and it makes even more sense to me as a person that buys them. Like, that's the reason I didn't get the Iron Man, is because I have 7 Iron Men that I've had to get for other Build-A-Figures.
Iron Man. I've been out of comics so long, I don't even understand Superior Iron Man or whatever it is. Any outfit looks dumb. That's just my opinion.
It's another spacesuit Iron Man, and it's just like, I've got so many spacesuit Iron Man, and the best one was the one that came with the group Build-A-Figure back in 2014.
So we're going to do our trademark, what we think on each figure. And let's just start with Icarus, and go ahead and talk about it, Andrew, and we'll go from there.
So Icarus was...
Oh,
yeah.
His name is Andrew.
Icarus, we'll move it into camera 2. This Icarus is, as T-Jaw said, very reminiscent of the Jack Kirby, which is really my favorite. The designs of the only other Icarus which we have received in
Eternals.
the 6-inch line was the Eternals wave. It was a cool idea, but it didn't look good on figures because it was just kind of bland. This has the depth, the dynamic, the black on the blue, the gold on the red. The accents are really cool. This is a figure that I was like low tier. I was like, I don't know if I'll keep it. I'm 100% keeping this thing because this just looks so neat.
Sweet figure.
And the way that they did his hair with the feathering, like, this is how I remember Icarus being in the comic books. Coming in, shooting his laser eyes, having super strength, flying in, being this individual that, is kind of the leader of the Eternals. This one hit the mark for me.
And you can take the head and put it on Khazar's body and make a He-Man.
Yeah, and then
which I want to do.
And then you can fix my my coloration issue on the nose. So
probably, yeah.
So as we move back to camera 1, I will have T-Jaw select the next figure for us to go over.
We're going to go with Black Winter. Once again, I do not know anything about this character, so I'll have AAA
So
tell
Black
you about
Winter came out, of course. post Fear Itself era, post Gore the God Butcher stuff. So this is like a new Galactus, but of course Marvel has to have a new big bad. So Black Winter is a universe devouring or dimension devouring entity, kind of like Galactus devours worlds. So the Black Winter has the ability to personify itself, and so when it fought Thor in, I think it was Thor Unworthy, don't quote me on this, he took on the look of Thor to be the personification that Thor was able to have a conflict with. When it comes down to, your classic things on how it looks, sculpt, this is just 100% the snake eyes of Thor. They just took Thor's stuff, painted black. They did give him a cool hair thing, which actually I wish we would have gotten this hair for the Herald as an alternate head, but here we are. We've got it as a Black Winter, and I love the effect that they gave, because it's like everything in the art. I can't remember who drew it, but the art always looks like it's just black, but it's dripping against gravity, anything with Black Winter. So they did a really good job of doing that with this figure. A little bit of opaqueness in the cape, very reminiscent of how the comic books looked. A few more spikes than what previous iterations of Thor have had. So a pretty fun figure. One that I wouldn't have necessarily thought about, but it is executed well. And
I mean, it's a cool sculpt. I just don't know anything about him.
Yeah, it's just, the head just gets a little wild because, with the hair being out, you really can't move it in any way. And then we'll move over to the next figure.
Red Widow, another character I do not know much about.
So Red Widow is from, some of the new lines. They've expanded some things with some of the new comic books, and so this is another person that did the same training program as White Widow, Black Widow, and then has taken on this kind of more ninja moniker. When it comes to sculpt, fun cape, giving that nice little asymmetrical look. We've got, the nice dual-bladed staff here. Fun little accents on the sides.
I just wanted to put it next to my Red Ninjas for G.I. Joe Classified, and next to my Emperor, because maybe it's a special Royal Guard.
Yeah, it does. It does have that Royal Guard look, and it's a fun head sculpt where they did a good job of having the cape separate from the hood, so you can move around the hood and you can do the fun action poses. Fun figure as we move over to the next one.
Khazar.
So the biggest thing for me, he's got a holster for his knife. So I was super stoked on that. Hands a little loose on the spear out of the box, but I'm going to use a little bit of a heat gun to kind of get that tightened up a little bit. Really disappointed in my paint on the face because he's got a big black smudge across the face. Can't wipe it off, can't clean it off. It is actually paint. They gave him a little bit of dynamic in the hair by having some orange with the blonde. Otherwise, he really doesn't have. It's like if they would have dirtied him up like his face, I would have been okay with it. But it's like you've got this clean figure and then this dirty face. So, classic Buck for your Legends line. The shoulders in the back where you can move the trapezius musculature, the rhomboids, those things, and you got the classic articulation. It's a fun figure. It's cool because it doesn't have any accoutrements to really impede his movements, but it's a simple figure.
And you get his partner in crime, Zabu, his Build-A-Figure.
His Build-A-Figure Zabu, he can ride on him. A little bit small from what we said.
Small.
But I do like that this Zabu can open and shut its mouth.
Yeah, it's really posable too.
And all of the Build-A-Figure joints are tight. Sometimes, people have issues when they put the Build-A-Figure, i.e. my Mantis, never holds together, but this thing is held together strong and is held up to a 6-year-old playing with it. And
that's another figure I want to get from my G.I. Joe Classified so I can put next to the Dreadnoks like it's another animal, because the Hasbro's killing it with the animals.
Yeah, the animals really are just so sick. And then as we move over to, speaking of animals, here is Wolfsbane.
Wow.
So now we have her in her own attire, not the full coverage one that we got technically with the Danny Moonstone dual pack. This one, she's in her more when she embraces her lycanthropy, and she's got her arms, legs exposed.
That's
showing
a good-looking
off the wolf.
feral figure.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. So it's really cool. And the head sculpt is neat. She did come with other hands, but I like the little claw hands, like she's gonna scratch.
Figure.
And then we move over
To the best figure in the line.
Cable. This is our number one. Love this sculpted Cable. So this is Cable that they utilized the same design for all the Marvel vs. Capcom games, as well as a lot of the promotional material in 1990.
There's something about that Cable that really sells it for me from all the Cables. I mean, it's just a good figure.
My only problem with it, so previous Cables did have holsters. This one is lacking any holsters for me to put the guns. But, you know, if I'm being honest, the actual art, he didn't have the holsters for these guns either.
He's got Rob Liefeld pouches.
Right. Right. So at least he can carry his ammo. And the gun style is really neat because we actually get depth. So we have actually already got this gun, the one in his right hand before, with the first appearance one that we got back in 2017, I believe.
Wow.
And that was the one from the first appearance back in the TV show. And so this is cool because it actually has two colors. It's not just a monochromatic gray thing that he's holding. We've actually got silver, black, pretty neat. And then this other gun is cool, and you can do some fun poses. I do like how all the Cables do have the eye burst.
I love that.
It's fun. It gives it a cool look. And yeah, as we switch back to camera one, we're going to give our final thoughts. So criteria, we're just going to go in general over the whole line. So when it comes to the sculpt, I'm going to go ahead and in a whole line, I'm going to say 7 out of 10 because we have some really exemplary ones, but you know, your showcase pieces of Kazar just are missing the mark for me when it comes to the sculpt.
I agree.
And when we go over to some of the articulation, when it comes to Legends line,
they're all the same.
It's going to be, We'll just say 9 out of 10, just because Legends.
Yeah, they're posable, but they're all the same. There's nothing different about them. And even with Zabu, they're posable.
It's posable. It's the same hinges on the same joints, things like that. No toe articulation, but you know, you can get them in the right pose and they'll actually hold up. But there's that, and then we'll just move over to the consistency over the line. Few issues with molding, paint. Between the figures that I have, and so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ream them on this 4 out of 10 for consistency.
On all of them or just the one?
Just the whole line, line as a whole.
Yeah.
There is problems with coloration. There's problems with, like, I look at this and it doesn't, like, you can tell that I have factory messed up things.
Yeah.
Versus it being very consistent and very, like, you know, as we have talked about in other videos with our Origins, very consistent. Legends, as of late, have been very inconsistent for me.
Because they're popping out a wave a month.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
And so a little bit of problem with joints. I heated them up. You know, at least that's fine. At least I didn't have any big breaks like I've had with some of my Black Series recently. And, you know, really paint was my biggest issue on this line, that there was no consistency of paint, even on the same figure. Like, you would look at the arm compared to the face, one would be dirty, one would be not. And then when you look at overall, this wave, just a solid 7. We have some really exemplary pieces when it comes to X-Men. Great job. It's like we've needed these X-Men figures. But, you know, some of the other figures, we just, you know, we need a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to go about the same numbers on what you're saying. What you're saying.
Cable just falling over.
Wolfsbane pushed them.
Yep.
And my least favorite figure out of the whole line is Black Winter. I just not feeling it. I'm just not a fan. So, man, he's cool looking, but he's just, I don't know, not my thing.
Yeah. And then when it comes to your favorite figure,
I'm gonna have to go with Cable being the best figure of the line, and then second be Wolfsbane.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip that. I'm gonna say my favorite one is Wolfsbane, just because I needed one for my collection. I already have a Cable, but for me, it's Wolfsbane, then Cable, then Icarus, then you know, Red Widow. I'm not counting the Build-A-Figure because Build-A-Figure is a different line. Then Black Winter, then Kazar, just because I'm real peeved about my Kazar.
Got to get that San Diego one in.
Yep.
But that's the Marvel Legends wave, but this Build-A-Figure Zabu wave, and we appreciate you guys watching it. Had a good time. If you want us to show anything or review anything, please comment on the link, and we would love to hear from you guys. So
yeah, thank you so much. Excited to talk with you again. I'm AAA.
T-Joe.
Bye.